let's talk about. Let me pull up your goals here as well. So you mentioned to me that you wanted to um set
I think you
intention.
asked me to set a goal, right?
Yes, set
Last time, but
intention.
I didn't. Yeah.
How's that going? It looks good, but how do you feel?
Uh, I mean, it's just I just put so much time and effort into One Trick and Diana that
Okay.
I'm just sad that I can't climb further with her.
Okay. Do you think or why do you think you can't climb further on Diana?
I think I just don't understand my role in team fights.
Okay.
Like I get the leads and then I just throw them.
Okay. Um do you feel bad because of like the sunk cost fallacy where it's like I put in I can actually show you how much time 262 2 hours on Diana and it's like fuck well I spent this much time on Diana and I'm not playing her, so is that what feels bad, or like swapping off champions essentially?
Well, it's just the fact that I put a lot of time into her,
Okay.
and you always said you should always one trick no matter what.
Yes.
So, but then there's like at this point I don't feel like I'm gonna get further with her at this point. Maybe taking a break from her, an extended break, and then
Coming
try
back.
climbing on something else.
Okay, so I'm just going to give you two pieces of advice here that have to do with your champion and that has to do with what you've been doing for 500 games. So we talked about how a lot of it was just I think autopilot, and I think there was a lot of just like you're trying to pass time and you're doing that while trying to climb, but when you're focused on passing time, it's easier to just not care and it's easier to tilt. It's easier to not be focused. So you're just playing to play. So I will say a lot of this time that you spent playing is quite literally just you're playing the champion and you're not thinking. And so as you're playing other champions, you're going to have to think more just because you're on something you're not as comfortable with. For example, some people have really bad habits when they wake up, when they go to sleep, they doom scroll, right? Or they wake up and they don't do the like the exact routine that they want, they think is optimal, they think is efficient for them, but they're stuck on what we call bad habits. And on Diana, you have probably developed a lot of bad habits because you've autopiloted for a few hundred games. So instead of completely dropping Diana, I can suggest that if you set intentionally, hey, I struggle on team fighting, I struggle on snowballing, and you apply a level of intentionality while you're playing. So who cares if you win or lose? Who cares if you are struggling in the early game, struggling in the mid game? It doesn't matter what's actually happening. In terms of win loss, what matters is are you actively making progress towards the thing you want to be working on, which in this case is when you have a decent lead in the early game, continue the snowball, or when you're in a team fight, don't completely end the team fight. I think this is like my take on what I think would make more sense for you to do because you do have a lot of time invested on Diana, and if you do really care about Diana, I don't think you should drop Diana. I think you should drop your old habits and drop what you've been doing for 500 games and like focus more. And I think you're just a Nocturne working, Briar working, as a byproduct of them being easier champions, but you also learning something new. So you're just naturally going to be a little more attentive to things. I think that as you climb on Nocturne, as you climb on Briar, and as you get 100, 200 games, if you aren't intentional and you aren't structured with your games, you're going to start losing as well. It's going to be the exact same scenario on Diana. So I just want you to be careful with that.
Yeah, I understand. It's just sometimes like I know it's clear with Nocturne what I want to do at what points what I want to do.
Okay.
Sometimes with Diana, it's just not clear on what I should be doing in the
Okay.
game. Sometimes.
So I understand that there's probably a knowledge diff or a lack of knowledge here and there on things that you might not know on Diana. What I want you to think about is like you spent hours and hours and hours learning Diana. And the fact that you don't know these things means you didn't try to learn those things. Quite literally. If you practice math for 10 hours, multiplication, you're gonna get damn good at it. you spent like so much time learning Diana, but I don't think you've actually learned anything because you're not intentionally trying to learn. You're not spending an hour learning what you should be doing in these circumstances. Now, here's the thing: Diana fighting and decision making can look more like calculus, and that's way more intimidating. That's way harder, but it's not something that you can't learn. You just need to be very intentional with how you're learning and what you're doing with it. Nocturne is more like learning multiplication. It's more like learning even maybe like simple addition. It's way simpler. But what I'm telling you here is you have invested so much time on Diana doing nothing with that. It's not an issue with the champion. It's an issue with what you've been doing with your time to learn the champion. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So I don't want you to believe that it's impossible for you to learn Diana, especially if you like the champion and you probably have more knowledge on the champion than you realize. It won't take you a long time to actually lock in and get good on Diana. It will be probably I don't know, like it won't take a long time. You just need to really be intentional for a few games, for a few hours, and just like, okay, in this position I do this, in that position I do that, and just set up what you're trying to apply in the game and what you're trying to learn in the game. And it's like, hey, so this doesn't work. Okay, I tried this for this reason, and maybe this reason was flawed. So next time, I'm gonna try fighting in this way, and you'll learn. And it might not be easy, but you'll learn. And you have a lot of games backing you, so you can learn this. Um, so don't give up on Diana if you really love Diana. But if you don't actually give a shit and you just want to climb and you just want to like win and you just want to hit the highest level you can in the shortest amount of time, then what's working for you already on Nocturne, play Nocturne. There's a reason why usually on my tier list I don't actually put Nocturne. Oh, sorry, I don't actually put Diana too high. Like right now, this is there's probably a few champions I want to change, but right now like Nocturne is like still up here, right? And Diana is down here. Like there's a reason why I have this here. Like, I'm not I'm not lying. And a lot of the reason why I place champions here is not necessarily based on win rate. Win rate definitely has some play into it. It's also just like how intuitive is the champion, how like easy it is to just like understand what you're supposed to do. Like for example, all these assassins, it's not very intuitive like what you're supposed to do to win a game. Like get kills, okay, but how do you translate those kills into winning a game? Same thing with all these champions here. It's like the intuitiveness of how do you win is way easier on Briar, Shyvana, like Nocturne, even the rest of these champions here. It's a lot easier to grasp that. So that's another way to look at this tier list. So my final like piece for you here is if you just want to climb, do what you've been doing. Just keep playing Nocturne. If you care about Diana a lot and you're like, man, I want to make Diana work, then either like then go be intentional. Either way, you need to continue being very intentional with what you're doing every single game. Sound good?
Okay. Yep.
It doesn't matter what champion you're playing. Great. Yeah, it doesn't
cool.
matter what
Thank
champion
you.
you're playing. Cool.